Hello everyone, so in this video, let us talk about the first three problems from the latest Lead Code Bi-Weekly Contest 95. So let's start. The first problem is categorize box according to the criteria. So the problem statement states that you are given four integers, length, width, height and mass, representing the dimension and the mass of a box. Now you have to return a string representing the category of the box. Now the box is called bulky if any of the dimensions of the box is greater than or equal to 10 to the power 4, or the volume of the box is greater than or equal to 10 to the power 9. So if any of these conditions hit, then the box is called bulky. If the mass of the box is greater than or equal to 100, then it is called heavy. Okay, then these are the two, let's say, parameters for a given box. Now depending upon that, the box is like, if the box is both bulky and heavy, you have to return both. If the box is neither bulky nor heavy, you have to return neither. If it is just bulky, return bulky. If it is just heavy, return heavy. That's it. So it's pretty much simple. According to the given constraint, you just have to calculate out whether the box is bulky and heavy, like what is the constraints, like what is the parameter. Okay, like it is bulky or it is heavy, or like depending on that, and like resultingly you just check out these four conditions. Pretty much simple. So what you can do is that you can initialize two empty strings a and b, which denotes that if any of these parameters, that is width, height and length, it is greater than 10 to the power 4, if any one of them is greater than 10 to the power 4, then you will mark your a as bulky. Or if the volume, that is the multiplication of these three, is greater than 10 to the power 9, then it is bulky. So if any one of these conditions meet, it is bulky, and if it doesn't meet, it will still be an empty string. Similarly, if the mass is greater than 100, it will be marked as heavy. So you now has both of these conditions met. Now if a and b both are, as you can see, set, which means that a is bulky and b is heavy, return both. If only a is bulky, return bulky. If only b is heavy, return heavy. And if like both of them are empty strings, which means that it is neither heavy nor bulky, return neither. Okay, so that's pretty much simple code, nothing much you just have to think about. Let's move on to the next code. The next problem is find consecutive integers from a data stream. Okay, so for a stream of integers, implement a data structure that checks that if the last k integers passed in the stream are equal to the value that is given to you in the input as well. So it just means that you have a stream of integers that is given to you. Now you just have to check that the last k integers are equal to the given value. If they are, return true, else you just have to return false. So this is the data stream class that you have to implement. That this data stream class initialize the value and the k, and then this function is called multiple time, that is consecutive, that will insert elements in the data stream. So in just simple terms, what you will do is, if you just see that, let's say there is some stream of data that is coming to you. Okay, let's say for this as an example, your data is coming like 4 4 3. So the first data that comes is 4, next data comes 4, next data comes 4, next data comes 3. So all this data is coming like this in this manner, like out of this, let's say. So first number that comes out is 4, next number is 4, next number is 4, next number is 3, and so on. Okay, this is how the stream of data is coming out. Now what you can see here is, you just have to check that whether the last, let's say, so this is the initialization, that is data stream, that is you initialize it with val and k. So this is val and this is k. So you just want the last k numbers in the data stream equal to this value, that is 4. So as you can see that in this data stream, if you just remove it everything, the first number that is in the data stream is 4. So you just have to check that this number, and before it 3 numbers are equal to 4. Okay, so this is the first number, so answer for this is false. Okay, the next number data stream is 4 again. So still I want 3 consecutive 4s. Okay, there are 2 consecutive 4s, so still it is false. Now one more 4 come, which means that now I have 3 consecutive 4s, because that's what I want. If I find out 3 consecutive 4s, then I will return true. Okay, if I have 4 consecutive 4s, still it is true, because I can easily just find out the 3 consecutive 4s. So it's pretty much simple. That you just have to find out the last occurrence of what is the number that is coming up to. Okay, so it's pretty much simple. What you can do is that you can just make, let's say, a variable, let's say count, that will just count out what is the current number that is coming in the data stream. Okay, so let's say the current number coming is 4, and the number I want is also 4. So this count will increase by 1. That I have seen 4 one time. Now again 4 comes, so 4 is again that I want, so it comes 2 times, and it comes 3 times. When it becomes greater than and equal to the number of last number that I'm seeing, so the last number I'm seeing is, let's say, equal to k. I want k consecutive, so k is equal to 3. So I have already seen 3 consecutive 4, so like it will return true here, else it will return false. And whenever I find, let's say, another number that is not equal to 4, I will mark it as 0, because now like it will start from the very beginning, because I want, let's say, 3 consecutive 4s. If at any place I found out any other number, then it will start from 0, because now you have to take the number once again. Okay, so it's pretty much simple, nothing much complicated here as well. So this is the count that will count on the number of consecutive numbers that I'm looking for, that is equal to, let's say, value. This is two global variables just to use it in this function. So that is this value and this is k. Okay, as the class is initialized, you will just take these values and initialize in these global variables. Now this function, what this function will do is that for any given integer, if this value, like the value that you have been coming from the data stream, if it is equal to the value that I'm looking for, increment the count. Okay, and if it is not equal to the value I'm looking for, like make your count equal to 0, because now it will start afresh. And if at any point the number of values that we are counting becomes greater than equal to k, because I want consecutive k number of values of this type, if we have counted out that number of time, then return true, because that is actually we have seen this number of value like consecutively. Okay, so pretty much simple. That's a small short code for this second problem. The third problem, though it seems difficult, but it's also very much simple. What you can say is the problem name is find XOR beauty of an array. So you are given a 0 index integer array nums, and the effective value of 3 indexes I, j, and k is defined by this formula. So if you just take out any, let's say, triplet, then for that triplet, the effective value for a triplet is nums of I or nums of j whole and nums of k. Okay, now XOR beauty of the array, the XOR beauty of the array is doing the XORing, just do XOR of the effective value of all the possible triplets. Now you will find out all the possible triplets of the array that you have, and then among all the possible triplets, do the XOR of all of them, and that is the XOR beauty. You just have to find out the XOR beauty of the nums array that you have. Okay, now you might be confused that how can I just find out the effectiveness, and from the effectiveness find out the XOR beauty. And as you can see, the constraints are pretty much large also. You cannot do this in a very beautiful way. So in such type of problem, always try to find out some logic, okay, or let's say some pattern around here. So the first thing is always go to the examples. What you can see here is that they have been finding out for all the triplets for this let's say array. So as you can see that in triplets also they are like double counting everything. Okay, like finding out all the triplets like 0 0 0 and 0 0 1 and so on. For all the triplets, they have found out what is the value at that particular point, and this or and the whole and the value what they get. And the end they are doing the XOR for all the values that you have produced here. Now what you can clearly observe here is, like, what I find out first is that when you do XOR of two same values, they cancel out. Okay, that's the simple funda. When you do XOR of same values, they will cancel out. What you can observe here is that whatever values you are seeing here, okay, or like when you're doing XOR, is the same value that is stored here. Only some zeros are there, like maybe some zeros are there, but the values that are here are the ones that are used here. Okay, so which means that I actually want to do the XOR of these values only, because in the end I'm doing the XOR of this value, these values, and these values are actually the values that are in the nums array only. So which means that I don't have to actually find out new values. I just have to do the XOR of these values only. Now, how can I do the XOR of these values and got this answer? What you can also observe is that in the output, whatever this is created, every number is occurring odd number of times. So as you can see that like this is occurring like 3 times, 1 is occurring 3 times, again like 4 is occurring like 3 times. Okay, like 0 we just ignore 0, 0 doesn't matter to us. What you can observe is like if any number is occurring odd number of times in the XOR, the even number times will get cancelled. Okay, as you can see, okay, the even number of times get cancelled. So like this 1, this 2 can cancel, and again this 4 to cancel. So the only numbers that are left are the ones that are in the array, and boom. So it just simply means that you just have to find out the XOR of all the numbers in the array. Pretty much simple. So this intuition comes very fast if you just do some small here and there things. So now how to prove that your hypothesis is correct? Like you have got some observations, but it not be true for maybe all the examples. And like you have calculated this with this example, but it's not 100% true that it is correct. So for that, what you can do is that you can just do everything in a brute force way. By brute force way, I means that calculate all the triplets, and for all the triplets, just do the XOR. Okay, and then find out the answer, and then find out the answer using your way also. That just do the XOR of all the things, and then calculate the answer. Now you might be thinking that if I do this, then it is a very brute force way. I cannot pass it. Yes, but what you can do is that you can check your hypothesis for small numbers. By small numbers, I mean that what you can do is that you can find out the answer using the brute force way and your hypothesis, and just match them, like whether the hypothesis you have concluded and the answer that you have got for small cases, let's say for 6 length array or 7 length array, and just put random 7 length array and 6 length array, and just see that the answer is coming same or not. And to my wonder, the answer comes out to be true, and thus you just have to find out the thing. So this is the thing that I found it out. So I have just commented it out when I was like solving out through other like the contest. What I've done is that I have just do the very brute force way of taking every possible triplet and just finding out this value, that is the OR of nums of I nums of j whole of k, and whatever is this value, I just have to do the like XOR for all the values of all the pairs, like all the triplets that I have found. So this is the complete like nested for loop that will calculate out the answer, and this will store it as answer. So what I'll do is, on the other way, is just calculate out the XOR of all the numbers in nums. This is stored in nums2, and the original answer was stored in nums0. So what I'll do is I have just printed out both the answers here, and just check that whether the answer that is coming out true in the brute force way and the hypothesis that I have deduced. And in the end, you can just directly just see, if you just uncomment it out, that the answer comes out to be true. And thus you just have to comment out this part, because this is just increasing time complexity. You can directly calculate out using this small for loop, and just comment out everything and just return out that thing. That's it. So for these problems, you just have to find out some observation. And if you are not able to find out the observations, what you can do is that you can just write down the very brute force way and run it for small test cases. Okay, this is just for 2. You can do it for 3 or 4, 5, 6 small test cases, and just check that whether your answer is coming out true, like what observations, your patterns you're looking for. And in the end, if you have find out some observation, just try to like you can say optimize it and just print it out. That's it. So that's the overall logic and the code part for all the 3 problems. The 4th problem is also coming soon in this platform, so don't worry. I will see you in the next one. Till keep coding, and bye.